Happy Thursday, and I kind of just want to sit down and just analyze what I learned so far with editing all these different videos. Well, it's only my second video editing this month, but one important thing that I took note of would be audio and just making sure it's all even throughout the whole video to make sure there's no like loud extra parts, and trying to be more efficient with keyframes. But I don't think there's a way to go ahead and make presets of keyframes on Final Cut Pro. And if there is a way, I don't know how it's done. I'm pretty sure you can do that on Premiere, but again, I still am procrastinating to learn Premiere after the first day. But I will learn Premiere. And the other thing is the use of sound effects, and because I used sound effects before, but very sparingly, and so now I want to go ahead and incorporate it even more, but not it sound mundane. And so what I did is also change the pitch of it so it can sound a little deeper or a little higher. So even though it can be the same sound, even though it can be the same sound effect, it can go ahead and sound differently, just so it doesn't get repetitive. Something else I did is starting to use built-in effects that Final Cut Pro has, and I messed with it a little bit, but there's a lot more good ones that I didn't know existed if I didn't go ahead and take the time to go through each one of them. And so I'm glad I got a chance to do that. And the other part is the importance of, I don't know what it's called, but just so there's no abrupt change, it can be lowered a little bit so the volume gradually increases or gradually decreases at the beginning or at the end. And I've done that before, but now I'm trying to take note of, just to avoid some like those weird noises during each section. And it's not perfect, but I'm glad I'm taking more note of that. And so my next thing that I want to focus on is organization, because in the timeline, I was watching the editing podcast by Hayden Smith, Logan Paul's editor, or ex-editor. And they were talking with the editor for the Try Guys, this woman, and her organization was on point because basically her timeline was color-coded to certain things, and you can go ahead and turn on or turn off certain things. And so if I just want to, oh no, that was on YouTube for a different video I was looking at, but you can go ahead and turn on and turn off different effects. So if things are coded as sound effects and you only want to hear the sound effects, you can turn those on and turn everything off instead of having to manually go ahead and press the mute button. Or in this case, I would press the V button in Final Cut Pro and it'll mute something. And I also learned that there's a button that will deafen everything in the timeline besides the things you're clicking, which made it a lot easier. And so, yeah, I'm glad I'm keep learning a bunch of little things. And I know there's a lot more that I have to learn. Organization, do a lot better with sound design, and also making sure the footage isn't mundane. Because what I tried doing this time is, usually I would have a script and I would have a bunch of A-roll and then find a bunch of B-roll afterwards. But it can get kind of boring, and so what I started doing too is just recording certain parts, editing, and then going back to record other parts or re-record parts that I didn't like, whether it be video or in audio with a different microphone, which I don't know if anybody will notice that part. And it just makes it for a more exciting story. And yeah, that's all I really want to say today. Right now, I'm filming the last part, which is going to be the results for March up until yesterday, the 22nd. And yeah, everything should be done by then. Oh, thumbnail too. And this time I did it opposite of how I usually edit, because usually I edit like assembly style lines. So I'll go ahead and do all the A-roll, I'll go ahead and add all the music, I'll go ahead and add the B-roll, and then maybe some sound effects. And this time I was working in like sections. So I would work on this section, it's done. Work on the next section, it's done. And it was just little by little. But I wasn't as efficient during some parts, which now I know what to do to be more efficient. And yeah, that's all I really have to say. Anyway, thanks for watching, and goodbye.